Day that was marked yesterday, and this is with regard to speaking your mother tongue, that is your language. And in studio I have Dr. Joel Ngoto. He's the Acting Deputy Secretary General, Research and Resource Mobilization, Kenya National Commission for UNESCO. And Dr. Joel, we're just talking about the impact or the importance of having languages even in school and starting from the basics. I just want to understand now, away from Kenya, how are other countries celebrating this specific day? How do they mark this specific day?
Yeah, thank you. As I said, UNESCO designated this day in 1999 because of the challenges they noted globally. So UNESCO normally and the United Nations designate this kind of days. We have quite a number of days that we mark. For example, like the International Peace Day, the World Teachers Day, and on and on. So this day was elevated and passed by the UNESCO General Conference, and all member states are encouraged to come up with various activities to promote the importance of the mother language or mother tongue. And that's why, as a commission, we work with various stakeholders in the education sector, in the culture space, and the communication, information, and media houses like yourselves to ensure that this day is brought out. And for sure, as you have said, this day was marked globally, not just in Kenya.
Right.
And it comes every year with different themes. Like, for example, this year's theme is on promoting multilingualism for intergenerational education, meaning that the young can learn from the old people, and the old can also learn from the young. And knowing very well that mother language is very important for education. So through our culture program, we come up with various activities, even through the education program. We had the day marked at Kabarak University yesterday, and we were also at Migori Teachers College, as I said. So I know if you check from the media, you will realize that this day was marked all over the world. And that's what we do as a commission for UNESCO. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, maybe sort of like a controversial question.
Yeah.
When it comes to the United Nations, there are specific languages that they focus on.
Yes.
We mentioned Spanish, but they also focus on French, they focus on Arabic. Is it that these specific languages are important, or is it going back in history and looking at even the colonial times, the specific countries that were, colonized by specific regions are leading to those languages being more superior, if I could call it?
Yeah, not really. These languages, for sure, UN has recognized 6 languages that are used to communicate, like within UNESCO. English is one of them, French, Arabic,
yes.
Spanish, I think Chinese is also one of them. And there are 6.
Swahili, did they?
Oh, no,
Swahili?
Swahili was designated, really. We have 7th of July as the World Swahili Day. You see, we are almost going there.
Heading there.
And it is spoken by over 200 million people on the Eastern African, Eastern part of Africa. For sure, UNESCO allows member states, if you want to speak in Swahili, for example, at UNESCO, you provide the interpreters and they will accept. But I think these other languages, it's not that they are superior, but they are taken because they could be spoken by many, many people. That's one of the reasons why they have been elevated to that level. Not that they are better than all these other languages that we are trying to promote and protect. Yeah, it's not a way of discriminating any language, but I think it goes with a number of people who speak the language. Like, I think English is widely spoken across the world, and French, and could be followed by Chinese and Russian. By the way, Russian is also a language of the United Nations, including UNESCO. But that does not mean these other languages across the world are not that important.
Right.
Because it is already recognized that to learn better, you have to, that students who speak their mother tongue on educational attainment, they tend to achieve better than the ones that don't speak the other language, and research has shown that.
Right, I want us to now go to Kakamega and speak to our reporter Alan Ochanda with regards to this particular day, which is the International Mother Language Day. Alan, let me greet you in Somali. We say Subahwan accent. That's good morning. Please tell us what's happening there in Kakamega. What are people saying about the local language there?
Well, Fathia, in Luya, of course, across the 18 sub-tribes of the Luya community, we say Wushere for good morning. Then during the daytime, we say Keshter, and then good evening, there's Wahera. And so I'm joined here by at least 5 residents of Kakamega from at least.
Right. Unfortunately, there's a bit of a technical issue there, but we'll come back to Alan Ochanda, who is in Kakamega, and talking to various residents who are talking about their language, specifically Luya. Alan, if you can hear me now, you're telling me you have 5 residents who want to talk about their languages, and you're just telling us how the language is in that particular region. So talk to us.
Well, you could just tell us your name, from which sub-tribe in the larger Luya community, and then kindly count for us 1 to 10.
Bas, mara mlanje kama Moses.
Count to 1 to 10.
My friend, kama wewe si Mluya utanipata. Mimi naitwa kama Moses Mtwenje, mkaaji wa Kabaras. Nafikiri hii kaunti ya Kakamega Kabaras inajulikana. Tunatoa watu wazuri. So naweza kucount. Lala, Khaviri, Khatar, Khane, Kharan, Sita, Sapa, Mnan, Tisa, Kum. Yeah.
Maybe unajivunia lugha ya Kikabaras, lugha yako ya Kiluya, ama wewe ni wale wa kusikia lakini huwezi zungumza?
Mimi najivunia sana, hata tungebadilisha town hii iongee Kabaras, lakini sasa kwa vile tuko mchanganyiko, wacha niongee tu Kiswahili.
Sawa sawa.
Yeah.
Asante sana. Anaitwa Moses Mutwenje. I know Fathia, we may not pronounce the name Mutwenje. Well, maybe your name, which sub-tribe you come from, and kindly count for us 1 to 10 in your sub-tribe, in your dialect.
Kwa majina, mimi naitwa Benjamin Sakwa, mimi ni Marama. Marama ni watu kutoka Putere, Shatsala. Kwa kusabua unaanza Lala, Khaviri, Khataru, Khane, Kharano, Sita, Musaf, Mnane, Shenda, Yehon.
Musafu na Shenda zinatofautiana kidogo na nyingine.
Musafu ni 7 ama 7. Shenda it's 9.
Just like Kenda in Kiswahili.
Kenda in Kiswahili.
Nice. Good. Thanks so much. Karibu sana. Maybe your name, unatoka wapi? Wewe jina lako, utueleze jina, unatokea upande gani, yani ile sub-tribe hapa West hadi 10 kwa lugha yako.
Enze na ngwango akiri hela sakala dolanga ekolomani ndi mwana muita horle bihiziol khobari tsanga jene wala lala khane kharano sita sapa monane tisa
Khabaka. You need 3.
Yes.
A bit different from the other ones. Your name, where you come from, the sub-tribe you come from, and then of course utatuhesabia 1 mpaka 10 in your local dialect.
Majina zangu Sylvester Sakwa ambayo kiwa mhuduma mchungaji na naweza taja hizo namba ambazo umesema kwa lugha ya nyumbani.
Yako ni gani? Hawa wengine wamesema sub-tribe.
Wanga Kingdom. Vashitete. Yeah, so nianze kuhesabu kwa lugha ya nyumbani. Lala, Khaviri, Khataru, Khane, Kharano, Sita, Saba, Mnane, Tisa, then 10.
Inakaa kama Kiswahili kwa karibu sana.
Yeah, inakaribiana. So kama Sita kubola Shenda.
Shenda.
No, kubola Musafu.
Musafu.
Yeah. Then Shenda ambayo ni 9. Yeah.
Asante. Wa mwisho hapa. Oh, kuna mwingine hapa. Jina lako, unatokea wapi hapa katika Western, which sub-tribe, na alafu utatuhesabia 1 mpaka 10 kwa lugha ya mama.
Niongee Kiluya makiweki.
Ongea Kiswahili kwanza ukiintroduce, au useme umetokea which sub-tribe, alafu utahesabu 1 mpaka 10.
Kwa majina naitwa Eliab Mkoshi. Mimi natoka kwa subclan ya Putsotso. Nakaa hapa Lurambi, Kakamega Central. Khubala chakanganende lala, khabiri, khataru, khane, kharano, sita, sapa, munane, tisa, ehumi.
Unajivunia lugha ya mama ama pengine ukifika mjini utaki kuonekana kana kwamba wewe ni mtoto?
Mimi kama kawaida, hata dunia yote inajua kwamba mimi najivunia kuwa Mluya.
Dunia yote?
Dunia yote. Kwa sababu mahali popote ambapo ninaenda mpaka nitangulishe Uluya. Na najivunia sana kuwa Mluya. Na Mluya yani Mluya ambaye anapenda tena Waluya. Si chutii kupikania Mluya, kupikania haki ya Mluya, na najivunia hiyo lugha zaidi.
Asante sana. Naam, maybe the last one. Maybe just tell us your name, which subtribe you come from, alafu tatuhesabia 1 hadi 10 kwa lugha ya mama.
Naam, jina langu ni Bernard Lusigi. Mimi ni Mtiriki kutoka Kaimosi. Sisi 1 hadi 10 kwa Kitiriki ni Shirara, Bibiri, Bivaka, Vine, Virano, Sita, Saba, Munane, Rutisa, Rehomi.
Inatofautiana kwa kidogo na lugha nyingine hapa.
Ya yetu ni kidogo, yetu iko almost close na Kisuka na Kidago. Kidago anasema Musafa, sisi tunasema Saba. Hao wanasema 10, sisi tunasema Rehomi. So kidogo kama Kibantu. Kibantu.
And why is it that many people do not really identify themselves with their languages, especially when they go to these urban places? You may find that somebody really claims, especially ladies, especially ladies when they come to town, they normally say, we understand, nasikia. Lakini siwezi zungumza. Why do people do not really identify themselves with their local dialects, especially when they get to urban setups?
I think it narrows down to the at birth, because most of people normally get births maybe in urban areas, and you know that the missing link between the local dialect or the tradition or the cultural aspect at birth. So you'll find most of them when they get births or when they are born, they go to urban areas, and you see when it reaches time to interact locally. Now, somehow they know, they hear, they understand, but they can't speak, because they were not introduced to their local dialect at birth. So I think that is, and then the issue of modernization, of course, it has led some people feel like talking Kisoka or Kisoso or Kitiriki, somehow you'll be termed or perceived as you are not learned. So they hide behind the English. But of course, all in all, your local dialect culture come first. Yeah.
Thanks so much. Well, Fathia, listening from at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6 representatives from the 6 sub-tribes out of the 18. So at least 12 are not around here to be represented. Those are actually the Wanyalas from Busia, the larger sides of Busia. Those are actually also add up to the 18 sub-tribes of the larger Luya community. You can listen from them. There's actually some slight difference in terms of pronunciation. But of course, the language acquisition device, the LAD, especially in children, is actually quite complex. So you may find that whenever maybe during the formative years of a human being, then the language acquisition device is where it's actually developed. So if one can master his or her local dialect during those formative years, then it's also easier to master Kiswahili, English, and any other foreign language. And so listening from them, from here, my people here in Western Kenya, in Kakamega, you can actually single out those similarities and the slight differences in the pronunciation of those numbers from 1 to 10. It even becomes more complex in pronunciation of the words. The consonants here are quite heavy. You heard the name Mutswenje. If you can pronounce that Fathia, then you may just win yourself maybe a stay here in Kakamega or the larger western region, because of course these are quite heavy words. That complex word like ha, Mutswenje, those are actually the heavy words that are found here in Western Kenya. But quite an interesting scenario here where the differences and the similarities are just have a thin difference here. Fathi.
Right, Alan, of course I can say Mutswenje. I think that's pretty accurate. But Alan Ochanda there, of course, in Kakamega, I'm talking to different people in that region. Of course, they speak in Luya, and we've heard from different dialects. They're counting 1 to 10, and you could see it's actually closer to Swahili, Khambili, Khatatu, Humi. I think that's what they were particularly saying. But now I want us to talk to our reporter Ken Gashuhi, who is also in Nakuru County. Over the same. Ken, over to you. Right, of course, we want to talk to Ken Gashuhi in Nakuru, and of course we know predominantly that region also has a lot of Kikuyu speakers, so maybe it would be a bit closer to the people of Nyeri, who've also been talking to us in the Kikuyu language there. But of course, it's an interesting day, the International Mother Language Day that was marked yesterday. Let's listen into now Ken Gashuhi from Nakuru.
Well, the diversity in our various languages here in Kenya is something that we cannot run away from celebrating. But how many of us know our mother tongues? With me here are some of Nakuru residents who can tell us how well they know their mother tongues. With me here is Charles Lukuyesi. Tell us, maybe you can start by counting 1 to 10 in your mother tongue.
Shirala, Bibiri, Bivaka, Ine, Mirano, Sita, Saba, Nane, Tisa, Kumu.
Which language is that?
Luya.
Luya. Hapana, hapo umetucheza. Hiyo si Kiswahili?
Sio Kiswahili hiyo. Hiyo ni Kiluya, original.
All right. Now, that one is Charles Lukuyesi, who tells us that is in Luya language, but, well, our viewers will be there to judge about that. Tell us your name and then...
Francis Kimani Kariuki.
Francis Kimani Kariuki.
Yes.
Now, tell us 10 animals in your mother tongue.
Hiti, Dhia, Jogu, Ng'ombe, Buri.
Zinapotea?
Zinapotea. Tuanze rigi.
Well, you see, there is that kind of confusion. Now, another chance. Count 11 to 20 in your mother tongue.
Imwe, igiri, idatu, inya, idanu, idatu, moja, inyanya, keda, ikumi, kuminemo, kuminegiri, kumine, idatu, kuminenye, kuminidanu, idatu, moja, inya, keda, mirogo, iri.
Well, he failed the question because I asked 11 to 20, but he started from 0 to 20. Well, we have another guest here who can tell us what is your name and where do you come from?
My name is Arakat Joseph, and I'm a resident of Nakuru town.
Now, as we celebrate our vernacular languages, can you tell us 10 items in the kitchen in your own mother tongue?
Agulu, Ohigla, Mberu, Olutukun, Tao.
Are they going?
Yes, Tao. Uderu, or Adita, or I've got another one. How many are those?
Those are 6.
6.
Well,
there are 6.
Let's go.
Or Ondueto, or Siropaka, or Kendo. Hiyo ingine zinapotea.
They have evaporated.
They have evaporated.
How well do you understand your mother tongue?
I really understand it well. Yes.
And how do you feel about children in the urban areas not even knowing their mother tongue but speaking other languages?
I really sympathize with them because some of the time when they go home, there is a barrier between the old and the town dwellers. So communication becomes a problem. But they should learn. Really, they should learn their mother language. Yes.
Thank you very much. We have our last guest here who can tell us your name.
I'm Simon Mwangi.
Okay. Now, I want you to tell us 10 different types of grasses in your language, in your mother tongue.
I am not sure. I only know 2. I only know 2.
Just try.
Nyaki, hey, only those 2.
Well, you can see not everyone is well versed with their mother tongue. Even as we celebrate these our mother tongue languages that we have in Kenya, the diversity is very rich, but well, it is up to you to make sure that the next generation does not speak in the language of others, but we maintain what belongs to us. Back to you.
Right, Ken Gashuhi, thank you for that. That was quite entertaining.